I've been known to spit the flows and make it shaky, shaky thing. Poppin', lock and stop and let it hang. Watch us as we drop this hip hop, it's like it stings. We make a whole room drop and everybody sing. We want the funk. We gotta have that funk. We kick it old school, we think we're so cool. We take it back to the past, we gon' act a fool. Up jumps the middle finger, make.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Sports Buzz, the Fanatical View. I am your host, Scott D. Lewis, here in the studios of Comcast Cable Channel 23, downtown Danbury, Connecticut, doing a taped show for our return. Let's just get this out of the way right off the bat. We apologize to our loyal fans. We know all 5 of you are out there watching and waiting. Where have we been?
Our 2-month hiatus.
2-month break. Wow, sometimes life just gets in the way.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, half the football
Season's over.
Crazy. So we are here. We will be doing a series of tape shows for the month of November and December before coming back live in January. So have no fear, we are back on a somewhat regular basis for November and a full regular basis in December, and then back live in January. Let's say hello. You've heard his voice already. My right-hand man, Bob Broad Jr. has returned.
I am back. We are back on.
And there we see a lovely photo of the groom and bride-to-be from their engagement party that took place during this break of ours.
Yes, so it did.
So how you doing there, Bob?
Pretty good.
All right, good to see you, good to see you. And of course, Bob's show Spotlight On is on Tuesday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 12. I'm sure he's covering the early season action of the Danbury
Whalers. Yes, we had some wins.
And some wins, 3-3 to start in this new season of the FHL, which is back up to 6 teams.
Yes. We have one from up the Berkshires, was up in Massachusetts, and the Steel City of Pennsylvania.
Steel City was the other new team. That's what I thought it was. So we'll get more into the Whalers as this season goes on, but they are underway. Keep looking at your local listings for when they are home.
A lot of returning players and a lot of new players. So.
And they'll be, of course, down at the Danbury Ice Arena, always a hot ticket in town. We also got our director back. Mr. Mike Toohey is here. His show Expose Cinema runs Fridays at 9, Wednesdays at 1. I've been on hiatus from directing his show for him too, so I don't even know what's been going on there.
Right.
So out of the loop. And we got the music in the background. Let's give a quick plug to Fatty Roots, who are back in action.
Oh, is he?
Just heard a December 5th show up at the Ancient Mariner in Ridgefield there.
How is his new family doing?
That is Dick Lexus.
Oh, Dick Lexus. I'm sorry.
Not Fatty Roots is not the family.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. And of course, Connor is here.
Yes, my
audio.
My adopted
the super fill-in extraordinaire on the controls in the room there, and I believe former Evil director Mr. Kevin Gallagher
is also
a hand as we prepare to do a show for him as well.
So where are we starting?
NFL, Bob, mid-season report. At least we come back pretty much right at the midseason mark.
Yeah.
Pretty good timing on our part. We could say we planned it that way. The beginning of the season was marred by the off-field incidents of domestic violence cases that ran rampant in the NFL.
Well,
Ray Rice leading the charge.
And Adrian Peterson
torpedoing my fantasy football team. Thank you very much, and also his Minnesota Vikings.
But now Peterson's back, right?
Well, he's not back yet. He's not cleared back to play. He just did sign off on a misdemeanor, no contest plea. It'll be interesting to see because he's been on a paid leave, basically, from the Vikings while his court settlement case for the abuse of his child in the, too much with the spankings and whatnot. So a lot of things marring the league at the beginning. The thing I'll have to say about that, we've heard a lot about it and all that stuff. I found it interesting that these incidents that took place months and months ahead of the opening of the season, Bob, February, March, whatever. The media had months and months to talk about these things and bring them to everybody's attention. Was it a coincidence that these stories do not come out into public view the tape of Ray Rice, which was out there for months, and which the commissioner claimed to have not seen. He's about to go to court over that. Was it a coincidence that those things didn't get brought up until week 1 of the NFL season?
It just seems like it always happens.
Which really helped to bring more attention. Bad press is good press. Gets the eyeballs to the set.
Yep.
That week 2 Ravens-Steelers Thursday night game was the highest rated Thursday night game in the history of the NFL. Coincidence or maybe not, with that tape being leaked right before the game, basically. So that was, one thing. We don't need to go back and rehash all that stuff because we are now in week 9 and this has been kind of brewing. It has quieted down. Another interesting thing about it quieting down, I thought about this week as I was getting ready to come back and do the show. The media was very critical of Commissioner Goodell there and his handling. A lot of people were calling for his head. And it culminated in one Bill Simmons on his podcast lambasting the commissioner and just going after him, basically calling him a flat-out liar, using choice words and doing so, and then challenging his boss, ESPN, to suspend him for his comments. And they did suspend him for 3 weeks for his comments, and he was out. And since that point, the commissioner's been getting a free pass. All the criticism, not as harsh as Bill Simmons' version of it, but people were critical of his handling and calling for possibly his ouster. That's all gone away once he was suspended for 3 weeks. So I found that to be interesting as well, as far as what was going on with this whole off-the-field issues and Commissioner Goodell's standing as the head of the NFL, and would he or would he not be ousted, and how these things work hand in hand with the media. They're playing party to it, holding stories back until just the right time to help the ratings go up. And of course, the ratings in the NFL are outrageous. We saw them get a pretty decent rating for a Sunday morning game in London the other day, 9:30.
I wasn't up at that time in the morning to watch the game. I'm sorry, but
they still got a pretty good rating, better than World Series rating, probably. Other things about the NFL this year that I've found interesting is scheduling. What is with the NFL and the schedule? Why do they continuously put teams in back-to-back week primetime slots? It's like, early in the year, you had the Patriots at Chiefs on a Monday night, come back home for a Sunday night primetimer. You had the Broncos recently playing at home on a Sunday night, at home on a Thursday night.
So
the Giants have had back-to-back weeks games where they've had to play primetime affairs. The Bears early in the season, they had to play on Sunday night in San Francisco to open San Francisco's ballpark, and then come to New York to play the Jets on a Monday night.
So how do you get that much?
Steelers go on the road on a Thursday night at Baltimore, and then go on a Sunday night on the road to Carolina in consecutive weeks.
So, you don't get much time to
It's
really
unfair scheduling, not giving the fans the best product. We saw the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, the Thursday night games were an abomination.
They were
blowout after blowout. Recently, the blowouts haven't been there, but I still think the product is weak. You saw the Jets give the Patriots some struggles on a Thursday night. I think that was more due to the fact that it was a short week for the Patriots, and they had 2 major injuries happen on the Sunday prior to that game. So, one way or the other, whether the games now are getting closer, maybe it's because one team's getting advantage that should be getting blown out, but because of the short week, the other team not getting that time. So I'm very, not pleased with the schedule at all. But let's get more to what the teams are doing, Bob.
Well, your Pats are doing very well.
The demise of the Patriots, as it was talked about vastly at the beginning of the season when they started 2-2 and got crushed by evil director Kevin Gallagher's Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs were cooking with gas as they blew out the Patriots on a Monday night early in the year. But that demise, I say not so.
It just flipped.
They have run off 5 straight, including pounding the so-called top team in the NFL, Denver Donkeys, the Broncos, on Sunday afternoon, 4 o'clock game there in Foxborough. You saw the snow come down early in the morning and big winds. The snow was cleared by game time for that game. but you just had the feel right away that the Patriots are going to be able to do something good. And their defense, I mean, the Patriots' offense, we can talk about that. But Brandon Browner, who is about 3 games in because he missed the first 4 games of the season, he's getting more comfortable. We know Darrelle Revis is there, and he's getting more comfortable. These guys are starting to play together. They got 2 lockdown secondary corners right now, and Browner brings that physical edge from the Seattle Legion of Boom, and we'll get to Seahawks in a little while as they're struggling after they've lost some of their players.
Yeah.
So the Patriots' demise, not so, Bob.
No.
Right now, they are the top team in the AFC, maybe the top team in all of the NFL. Arizona Cardinals can say something about that, but 7-2 right now, atop the AFC. That win against the Broncos could go a long way for home field advantage once playoffs come around. Patriots' schedule is still brutal, however. It's been a tough schedule, I think, throughout, but they get the bye week this week, and then they get the Colts. They got at the Chargers, at the Packers, home for the Lions.
So they still got a rough season.
A lot of tough games coming up. So they have a lot of work to do, as far as maintaining the top seed and home field advantage. I think, I highly doubt they'll be able to run the table. So they're going to have to hope some other teams don't run the table like the Broncos with their, most likely light schedule. They always seem to get the easy schedule. Not sure about that. So we talked about the Patriots. The Broncos, their rebirth on defense. How'd that go in that Patriot game?
Not too
well. Gave up a tune of 43 points.
Yeah.
Patriots ran roughshod over them. Gronkowski, Edelman, LaFell, those guys just doing great. Brady is on target, Bob. His throwing right now is as sharp as I have seen in a while.
Right.
And the addition of Brandon LaFell and a healthy of Gronkowski back is really opening up the field because LaFell can go deep, and they're hitting him deep. They also have the second tight end who they pulled off in that trade against the Bucs, Tim Wright, who's played well. He didn't do much in the Bronco game, but he has had his moments as they're unveiling. Remember, part of their big success offensively in years past was the murderer, Aaron Hernandez, the 1-2 tight end punch with Gronk, and with Wright there, they're able to spread the field with the 2 tight ends. LaFell going deep, Brady throwing the long ball. So offensively, Patriots looking good. Broncos, who were hanging their hat on the fact that their defense was vastly improved from last year, adding Aqib Talib, DeMarco Ware from the Cowboys. They got torched.
Oh, yeah.
Defense was no good. And we know what happens with Manning in cold weather games, big spots.
Yeah,
he was
freezes
just nothing. And this is all you need to know about Manning and all his gaudy stats, Bob. In that game against the Patriots, they got crushed, right?
Right.
Their offense was pathetic. He's getting sacked on 4th downs. He's throwing interceptions, 2 of them. He still racks up 438 passing yards in that game,
right?
Which was a blowout.
Yeah.
They got killed. So all his stats, they're all garbage stats, Bob. He's just a stat hacker. He just rips off these stats like nobody's business. And it reminded me of the fact in the Super Bowl where they were crushed.
Yeah.
Absolutely crushed. You know what he did in that game, Bob?
Nothing.
Yeah, except for set the record for most passing yards in a Super Bowl by a quarterback.
Yeah.
How is it even possible that happens?
And he lost.
But that's what he does.
Big time.
He gets his stats. They're meaningless half the time, and he racks them up. So anyways, all right, let's keep moving because I know we don't have too much time, and we got a lot to get to. Some other things in the AFC. Another team that was written off early, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes.
It was the Steel City Curtains. They
Yes.
were giving them the curtains, Bob.
But
what has happened there? Not so.
No.
6-3 as they've run off 3 straight. And they last 2 weeks, Big Ben, unbelievable.
Right.
What has he thrown? 12 touchdown passes.
Yep.
And about 1,000 passing yards. He has gone off as the Steelers have come back to the top there, ahead of the Bengals, who in the NFC North at 5-2-1, Browns at 5-3, and the Ravens in last place in that division at 5-4. All 4 teams above 500. So that division is going to be tough. And if we go back actually to the not so AFC least, always get made fun of. The Jets can certainly get made fun of.
Oh, they're pathetic.
And we will get to them. But also another division that has some things up for grabs. I mean, Patriots at 7-2, right behind them, the Bills and the Dolphins at 5-3.
The Dolphins had a bang-up job this weekend.
Holy cow, did they do a number on the not-so-super San Diego Chargers.
Oh.
Was that unbelievable, Bob?
That was an unexpected game.
They absolutely crushed them, shut them out, about 36-0?
Yeah.
San Diego. How about this for the stat of the week? Where's Strangeman when you need him?
Really?
Trivia time.
Right.
Maybe somebody in the control room can get this if you don't get it.
What's this?
When was the last time the San Diego Superchargers beat the Miami Dolphins in Miami? Mull over that. If Kevin Gallagher has the answer, we'll accept his answer as well. So the Chargers did start this season 5-1 while you think of that trivia question. And now they are 5-4. At 5-1, everybody had, their Phillip Rivers.
Has it been more than 10 years?
More than 10 years. They had Phillip Rivers as the MVP. They had the Chargers in the Super Bowl. They have now lost 3 straight, including this blowout. Have I given you enough time? Do you give up?
I give up.
What about Kevin Gallagher in the studio? Does he give up?
Kevin, do you have an answer?
He gives up. It was a playoff game, Bob.
Yeah.
A legendary all-time NFL playoff game. Is that a clue for you?
No.
It involved one of the greatest overtime performances by a tight end ever. Kellen Winslow being carried off the field after the game by his teammates in 1981.
Wow.
The epic overtime affair. San Diego Chargers beating the Dolphins in 81. Last time they came to Miami and won a game there.
33 years ago.
Crazy.
Wow.
All right. Speaking of the AFC West, we'll go there. We did mention off the top there the Chiefs, who are also... people were cooking them out of the playoff picture early at 0-2. Even before the season started, I heard a lot of people saying the Chiefs, whoever they are, were going to regress. Not so. They have won 5 out of the last 6 games to go at 5-3, looking very impressive, including beating down the Jets this past weekend. They go to Buffalo this weekend in what could be a crucial playoff positioning battle with the Bills and the Chiefs at 5-3. A lot of other teams around 5-3. Dolphins. San Diego's still in the mix at 5-4. We mentioned the other teams from the AFC North. There's going to be a logjam there. The one division that we don't have to worry about anybody really coming out of, because it doesn't look like Houston will do much, and the Colts will run away with that division, is the South. All right, so let's keep it moving. Are we down to 10 minutes?
10 minutes,
already?
yeah.
All right. Let's head to the NFC. Jets, we don't need to talk about them.
No, because they're shot.
1-8. What a disgrace. Geno's out. Michael Vick's in. He's not even prepared to play. He admits it.
Yeah.
And, he's banged up. He can't even stay on the field. He came out with a, head injury against the Chiefs. They put him back in.
Who do they have for a third quarterback? Anybody?
Matt Sims, your buddy Phil Sims' second son. So another Sims is in the league. So, the Jets are done. Rex Ryan, when are they going to fire him? The fans actually paid for a plane to fly over practice today with a banner saying, "Fire Idzik."
Yeah,
why are the fans so loyal to Rex Ryan? The team has been a disgrace.
Even the fireman has actually said,
"Oh my God, they're unbelievable."
He's even took his hat off. So that means.
So let's get to the NFC, Bob. Seattle supremacy. Not so. It looked like they were going to be a dynasty. They are struggling mightily. We talked about this in our NFL previews, which was the last show we did. They lost 5 players from that Legion of Boom defense. What would that do? And they also lost their top 2 receivers. And then they go ahead this year and trade Percy Harvin in a stunner to the Jets. They are struggling to reach 5-3. Their schedule is a little bit light. That includes playing your Giants this weekend. So they could, they'll still be right in the mix. But atop that NFC West division, the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals not getting clipped by injuries. They are still just flying high at 7-1, Bob. Unbelievable. And San Francisco falling flat at 4-4. Rams at 3-5 in the West. How about the Eagles and the Cowboys in your division, the NFC East?
Yeah.
Eagles flying high, except for, Dirty Sanchez. Mark Sanchez sighting as Nicky Foles is out with a collarbone injury until the end of the season. He could possibly return for the last week of the year or playoffs, but it's going to be Sanchez leading the way for the 6-2 Eagles. Other quarterback injury, Tony Romo. The Cowboys. How about them Cowboys at 6-1, now 6-3?
They got whacked this weekend.
And they head to London to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. That game could be a little tricky. Tony Romo expected to play. He's got 2 fractured bones in his back.
So I don't think he's going to be doing any.
What's up with that? And the Redskins, of course, not coming back. RG3 injury-plagued season for them. The Deadskins, not saved by RG3.
And my banged-up Giants are...
Giants, pathetic on Monday night, Bob. Really got handled by the Colts.
I mean...
it's ugly. What do you say about your Giants right now?
I mean, we need some help. Big time.
They did get help in the offseason. We talked about this in the preview. They
Victor
got 20 new players on the team.
You got Victor Cruz out.
They need a little more makeup. Because the makeover is not doing so good.
Yeah, Cruz
out for
the
year. That wasn't good. Rashad Jennings has been out, the big running back pickup they got. That wasn't good. We see right there, Cardinals took care of them early in the year. Hey, Bob, you complain about injuries. The Cardinals came in and they beat you with a backup cornerback and a backup running back. Is Bob's phone. Now you can tell it's been a while since we've done this show. Bob forgot to turn his phone off. But, so the Cardinals came in with backups and they beat you, so don't talk to me about injuries, Bob, because everybody gets them. All right, in the NFC North, Bob, this is interesting. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that the Detroit Lions are 6-2, and they are overcoming injuries as Megatron's been out for weeks. He proclaims he's going to play this week, but they lead that division. The Packer backers... anytime you think you want the Packers to be, anytime they win, basically, everybody says Packers are the best team, and then they lose.
Yeah.
I mean, they're 5-3. I don't know. I think they're one-dimensional. I don't think they have much balance on offense. I think their defense is suspect.
Right.
And the Bears, what's up with the Bears with all that talent at 3-5?
Yeah.
Vikings are actually ahead of the Bears at 4-5.
Which, is run. You don't understand how this is,
All right, we don't have too much time, so let's turn the page on the NFL. We're happy to be back talking NFL, but we got some other things to catch up on that we were away. We have a new World Series champion. The reign of my Red Sox is over for the 3rd time in the last 5 years. The San Francisco Giants. San Francisco treat. They did it again. Madison Bumgarner, a performance
Game 7 was a good game. I have to admit that.
Unbelievable. His performance, Bob. He's been there. He's only 25 years old, and he's been there for all 3 World Series. He has a 0.25 World Series ERA in his 3 World Series appearances. This year was unbelievable. On 2 days rest, he comes back after throwing 118-pitch complete game shutout in Game 5. He comes back in Game 7 on 2 days rest, and he pitches 5 innings of relief. It was Randy Johnson-esque, except for Randy Johnson didn't go 5 innings when he led the Arizona Diamondbacks to that upset of the Yankees in 2001. But that was unprecedented and unbelievable. The Kansas City Royals, hats off to them for their run.
It's been, 1985 was the last time?
1985. The Royals make an incredible run, sweeping the AL playoffs, winning their first 8 games. They won an unbelievable
they beat Orioles.
1-game playoff against the Oakland A's, where they were losing 7-3 in the 8th inning against old friend John Lester. And they come back and they win that game. They get 3 in the 8th, 1 in the 9th to tie it. The A's take the lead in the 12th, and then they win it anyways in the bottom of the 12th. That was unbelievable. Then they sweep
Bucks, Birds,
Orioles, and they sweep the Angels. Actually, they flipped that. They swept the Angels and then the Birds. So crazy stuff. The Giants, meanwhile, they beat Pittsburgh in that 1-game series as Bumgarner shut them out, and then they beat the Nats and the Cards before getting it done. And how about this, Bob? Down a run, bottom of the 9th inning, Game 7, 2 outs, nobody on. The kid for the Royals hits a gapper that's misplayed by the defense, goes to the wall, and I'm on my couch yelling, "Send him home!" They should have sent him and waved him in for the play at the plate. It was a potential game-tying inside-the-park home run. Most likely, if the Giants execute the relay, he would have been thrown out at the plate. But at that point against Bumgarner, why bother?
Right.
Send him home. He could have the most exciting play to end a World Series in the history of the World Series. They held him at third. Next guy pops out weakly in foul territory at third base.
And that was pretty much the end of that.
It was also the first time in quite some time that two teams under 90 wins competed for the World Series. Neither one, San Francisco or Kansas City, was above 90 wins on the season. And the Royals were also, interesting note, last in home runs and last in walks on the season. Don't see that happen very much. So they were playing small ball, which I thought was nice to see, with defense, stolen bases, and pitching. So it was great. It was actually a great playoff, great World Series. Not that many people tuned in, most likely.
And then, of course, we have the Derek Jeter.
Farewell to Derek Jeter. Good riddance. Glad to see you go.
And now comes back
A-Rod and steroids.
And now he says, "I did it," according to the Miami paper.
Steroids, everything. It's A-Rod. He's back. I don't know. I think that the leaks to the paper and this that's going down is MLB's way of trying to make it possible that he never plays again, which could happen. Interesting thing in the offseason, you know my favorite manager, the classless Joe Madden.
He went to the Cubbies.
Rays. Yeah, and he got blasted by a lot of people inside baseball and managers inside baseball because the Cubs had a manager.
Yeah.
They had not fired their manager.
No.
And Joe Madden opts out of his contract, pines for the job, gets the job while they had a manager, so they had to fire their guy to hire him.
Yeah.
A lot of guys in MLB called him classless, which is what I've been calling him 4 years. How much time we got left?
How much time we got left?
I got to get to
1 minute.
Oh, did somebody want to tell me? Jeez. All right. So we're not going to get to the Open in the NBA. We're not going to get to the NHL being a month in. College football has been interesting. Let's just say this. My Colorado State Rams, 8-1, Bob, did not crack the top 25 like they should have.
Right.
Unbelievable performance by this team so far this year. Huge win at Boston College. Really set the stage for this season, early in the season. Of course, beating Colorado at the beginning of the year. All right, we're back. This show will run for a couple weeks, and then we'll be back again right before Thanksgiving, and then we'll be back all month December. Thanks for those tuning in and coming back to the show. We apologize for not being here. We will see you soon down the road.
Take care. Go Whalers.